and that try to contact you and may even want to get back with you. So you start to feel like your ex may not care about the breakup right now, but they will later. You're probably feeling anxious, you're probably feeling anxiety, you're probably feeling scared and nervous and about the breakup, and it might not even necessarily be just because, okay, you've lost this person that you love so much. Sometimes it's because somebody who used to be this person that catered to you in a certain way, they used to be so loving and affectionate towards you, and then they did a whole 180 and became a completely different person towards you. And you could be wondering if anything that you've experienced with this person in y'all's relationship, was any of it real, because they were once this way and then out of nowhere they became this way. And that can be very hurtful, to even fathom the thought of, like, say if it was a 2-year relationship or a 6-month relationship, however long, in that duration of that relationship, to think that all of that was fake or that they were pretending. That can be a very scary thing for some people. A lot of times the most painful part isn't even just losing that person from, your life. A lot of times it's seeing somebody who once was the person that was so affectionate towards you, was so loving and caring towards you, the person that you deeply connected with and you've probably shared a lot of intimate moments with, and not even just not in a sexual sense, more so, emotionally. There was a lot of things that you confided in this person about, and to just see them completely change into whoever the person they are now, that can be very hurtful, because it makes you wonder if any of that you experienced with this individual was real. Seeing how they changed into a more cold and distant person, more rude and nonchalant type of person, that can have you wondering if this person will never come back. And that's something they also could have said to you, that they'll never come back into your life, especially if, being in that state of mind that you were in, very anxious, very scared, very sad, you probably asked them to come back to you or begged them to stay, and that their response to that was them saying that they'll never come back, they're breaking up with you, they're leaving you. And obviously that's something that can be very painful. Something to keep in mind though is that whenever it comes to relationships and then a breakup happens, there's some sort of uncertainty. There could be uncertainty from you where you're wondering if you can get this person back, or you're wondering if you'll ever find someone like them again. There's even uncertainty on their part as well, but it's not necessarily for the same thing. From their aspect, it's more so them wondering if it's gonna be better on this other side. Now that they are single, they're wondering if it's going to be even better than what they just experienced. And so in that sense, it's uncertainty. A lot of times they are certain about is how you feel about them, because you've obviously made that very clear to them. Whenever you do no contact, there are going to be people that try to reach out to you and that try to contact you and may even want to get back with you. So, but it really depends on if you actually do no contact. And so that doesn't mean block them on one thing but communicate with them on other things, or try to keep blowing up their phone and keep calling them, or having one of your family members call them from a private number or something, or even if you don't verbally communicate anything or text them, even looking up their social medias on the phone is some form of contact, even though you're not actually saying anything to them. Because you were caught off guard by the breakup overall, you know, you went into like a panic mode. Like, you were frantic and tried to convey your emotions towards this person, because from your perspective, maybe they don't understand, or maybe they don't know how much they actually mean to you. And so you try to pour all of your emotions and feelings out in an attempt to gain them and to convince them to stay and to, you know, not leave the relationship. And that makes perfect sense, because you're not the only person that has done that. Like, so don't feel like weird or awkward or like isolated about that action, because there's a lot of people that do that. Like, over the years, like, I've seen, it's literally like something that I noticed. Just I guess you would consider it like a pattern, because of how intensely you feel about that situation and how intense that moment is. A lot of anxiety can come up whenever it happens, especially because, like I said, it's just abrupt and it came out of nowhere and it caught you off guard. And so, yeah, I would say that makes perfect sense to do that. But overall, one key takeaway to have is that whenever it comes to anybody of your past, whether that was a situationship, a relationship, you know, past partner, whatever you want to call it, romantic interest, there are times where these people will come back into your life. That is a fact. That has happened many of times. I've seen it happen to so many different people, where somebody that broke up with them left and then came back. But the thing to remember is, during the time where you guys do not speak to each other, you should be working on yourself and, you know, pouring into yourself and focusing on yourself and giving that energy towards yourself and your progress and your elevation in life. And that type of energy will attract new people and the people of your past into your life. But as you get further within that journey, you'll have that understanding that certain things of the past are things of the past, and a lot of these things are just for you to learn about yourself, to learn about other people, to learn about that specific person, to learn lessons and gain knowledge to help you move forward in life. You know, it's not always a certain thing of, oh, I should work on myself and become the best version of myself so that I can get this person of the past. It should be for yourself to move forward. You know, there are some instances I know where people work on themselves, and a person that they used to date also works on themselves, and they become the best version of themselves as well, and they have an understanding of like where they were at within the relationship, and, you know, apologize for that certain thing, and they rekindle things, and it might actually be something that works out and turns into like, and it is actually like a healthy relationship. But a lot of times it's not really the case. It's a lot of times, again, a situation where you learn about yourself. Certain things were brought to light during that relationship, and there were certain things that you realized, you know, and you've overcame all of that, you know, during this isolation period where you are working on yourself. So it's very, very important to like be careful with all of that, and like to not attach yourself to getting an ex back. And that's why you want to do everything. It's the betterment of yourself. It's what's the best decision for yourself. And even if it's easier to think outside of yourself, if you have a younger sister or brother, or if you have children yourself, like, what would you tell them? You know, if the roles were reversed, they were the one experiencing that, what advice would you actually give them? You know, that's what you should do for yourself. So this video is not to promote getting back with exes, and that's what you should strive for. This is also not a video saying that it can never happen. I'm just putting out something that I have seen happen and what it could actually be, and you should use discernment, definitely. But if you resonated with anything I spoke about, consider liking, subscribing, and sharing so that this video reaches someone who may also need to hear this message. Thank you, and bye.